Maybe it's worth stepping back for a moment and talking about Russia and Britain at this point. This, I think, is almost the high point of Londonograd, as people call it. Moscow on Thames, as other people described it. This is the kind of peak period of Russian influence in Britain and particularly in London. I don't think that it was replicated in the US, but I think London and Britain were particularly the focus of where Russian influence came. And I think lots of reasons for that. It's a short flight from Moscow over to London. You'd have all these Russian businessmen, the so-called oligarchs, the kind of people who mix business and politics, who would come and they'd come and watch a football match, maybe at Arsenal on the weekend. Their wives would go and do shopping. Maybe they'd send their kids to school in Britain. They'd invest here. The visa regime, everything was quite permissive. It was quite easy. And of course, they also worked out they could stash their money and spend it in London. London, and particularly the City of London, welcomed them with, open arms, said, come along, bring all your money. We don't really care where it came from. So you had both Russian dissidents and exiles, but also kind of people close to Vladimir Putin, all of them coming over to London in this time. And you could feel, I rember seeing it. You could feel the money flood in, the houses being bought, the people in the restaurants, just that sense of Russian influence. And equally, obviously that brings with it a darker side, but the security service, MI5, police, they didn't have the resources or the ability to kind of look at this in very much detail. This is the kind of post 2001 era when they're focusing on terrorism, terrorist threats. They're not really kind of that bothered about it. London is just welcoming them in.